Hello, this is Jim Ross again with Perfect Fitting Shoes. This is part two of the video creating Aquatruck sandals. We thank you for tuning in and we hope you enjoy the video. Bye bye.
But there's a shoe laboratory down there that does testing on shoes, whatever kind of testing you could want. So we contracted out with them to do a test. Rick had told me to go down there before he'd send the money to do a test to make sure that the soles didn't delaminate. And I did. I got just enough money to go down to Mexico, do this test, and I sent him the results. The funny thing is, on a side note, before I went down to Mexico, as I was packing up and leaving from his warehouse, he wasn't there. I was the only one there. There was a gentleman that came up and wanted to buy some sandals. So he bought like 3 pair of sandals and paid $100 and something, maybe 2 pair, $160. And he paid cash. And man, I was thinking to myself, oh, that would be nice to be able to put that money in my pocket because I could use that extra money on the trip. But my agreement with Rick is all the sales would go straight to his pocket, and then I'd just take out the profit. But since he wasn't there, I couldn't do that division properly without any, haggling of this or whatever. So I was just like, all right, here's the full amount. You can give me the difference, later. So I trusted him. So anyway, go down to Mexico and do the test. The four samples that I pull out the various boxes randomly. I take to the laboratory. They pull the test, and none of the soles come apart. So I'm very happy with the results. Take it to the factory. Talk to Rick. Tell him the results. Fax him the copy of it, and start talking to him about sending the money to get the factory paid so that we can get the shoes or the sandals up to Los Angeles. And he said he wasn't going to do it because he wasn't going to work with Mexico anymore. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, I'm tired of having problems with down in Mexico. I'm tired of having the problems with the soles coming apart. I don't have any confidence with it. I said, but we just did this test. I said, you just sent me down here and I did the test. Everything came out fine. And he's like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel good about it. So I was like, man, I was in the meeting with the factory's owner at his office when I was having this conversation. So he's over here in the conversation and he's like giving me this look, and I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know what to do. And I didn't really know what to do because at the time, I didn't have the money to pay for the 800 pair, multiple thousands of dollars, and I just didn't have that money. And the factory made them on our spec, meaning that they didn't have clients for it, and we were the ones that were, committed to take the product off of his hands after he finished it. And so I got off the phone with Rick. Rick was telling me that he wasn't going to do business. I was, not happy. I told him, I said I'd find him later. It wasn't a happy conversation. But needless to say, I told the owner of the factory that I would honor my word, that I would make him whole on the production costs. I didn't know how or where or when, but he'd get his money. So talked to some other friends of mine, started asking around shoe stores in the local area if they were interested in buying the sandals, but they all wanted them at a cheap price, which are less expensive. They wanted it for less than what I paid to make the product, and I couldn't sell them at that. We incorporated antimicrobial agents and higher quality synthetic leather and higher quality lining material. We did a lot of things to make our product a lot better than they had been made by other factories making similar product. But to the consumer's mind, because they don't have as much disposable income, a river sandal's a river sandal. They could care less about all these antimicrobial enhancements that we made on our product. But I was going to sell them in the United States at a very nice price, so I wanted to make sure that they had the best materials available into the product. So I couldn't sell them locally, and I couldn't find out where I could do it and make a profit by getting them up to the United States because I didn't have money for shipping or anything like this. I had my truck, which could hold about 250 pair of sandals in it, 238, I think, something like that was the max I could put in it with the rest of the cab open. But my buddy said, hey, I know a guy down in Puerto Vallarta, and maybe if you go down there, you can sell them at the beach. And I was thinking to myself, that might be a good idea because the tourists down there, they're Americans, Canadians, or Europeans, and they're visiting, and they're looking for, they want good stuff, but they're not necessarily sold on Nike if they can't find it. If it's a good product, they might be interested. So I talked to this guy, and I said, hey, so who's your buddy? He's like, Hugo. And I said, well, okay, cool. How do I get a hold of Hugo? He's like, he works at the aquarium. He's a marine biologist working at the aquarium. So in my mind, when I hear the aquarium, marine biologist, Puerto Vallarta, I'm thinking, SeaWorld, swimming with the, dolphins and stuff like this, maybe a, killer whale over there or something like this. But I'm thinking of an amusement park, aquatic type. And he's like, so that's how you'll find him. I'm like, well, what's his phone number? He's like, I don't have his phone number. I said, well, what's his last name? He's like, I don't have his last name. I'm like, well, you're not giving me a lie. He's like, yeah, but trust me, just go to the marina and ask people for the aquarium, and they'll tell you, they'll direct you to it, and you'll find Hugo right there. I was like, all right, cool. So trusted this guy. This guy's name was Ephraim. I trusted him 100%. Put all my sandals that I could put in the back of the truck. I had a camper shell on it, and I drove, it was like 9 hours from Leon to Puerto Vallarta, paid for the tolls, paid for the gas. My cash flow's dwindling. Get to Puerto Vallarta, really have very little cash left. I mean, really not enough to stay for a hotel or anything like that, just a little bit of gas. And I was like, man, I'm getting kind of thin. So I get to the Puerto Vallarta, get into the parking lot over at the marina. It was about 3 o'clock, 3:45, and I was feeling kind of good. It was kind of early. I was like, okay, now I'm making some sales, and I can, replenish my cash flow or my cash situation. So I go over there. Now the problem is, beforehand, on numerous occasions, items in the back of my truck or inside my truck have been stolen when I was not around. People break the window, pop the back of the cab, and just literally steal everything I had. I mean, I had multiple items stolen on numerous occasions, and it just was depressing. So I'm thinking of this in the back of my mind as I'm in the parking lot, this large, expansive parking lot for the marina. And I'm like, man, I gotta leave this truck, without anybody watching it, and I just gotta trust that nobody steals anything. So I wasn't feeling good, but I had to do it. So I get out of the truck, lock it up, and I walk away. And I walk into the marina, and luckily nobody stole anything. I'll let that out of the hat right now. But as I'm walking in the marina, I'm asking people, hey, so, hey, where's the marina? Where's the aquarium? And people are like, hey, man, it's closed. I'm like, what do you mean it's closed? First time I heard that, I was like, no, it felt like a sucker punching in my stomach. And I asked another person, I said, where's the marina? He's like, it's closed. I'm like, no, man, because I didn't know what to do. I'm here in a foreign country, in a city I didn't know a person. And I'm like, man, there's 200,000 people here. How am I going to find Hugo? So I go back out to my truck, because I'm like, I got to make sure nothing gets stolen there, because I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? So I got to my truck. And on the way, somebody had told me that there's a place in Nueva Vallarta, which is about 15 kilometers away, 20 kilometers at the most, I think, where they swim with dolphins. And there's sure to be a marine biologist over there. And I'm thinking, well, maybe he's over there. If not, at least they know how to get a hold of him. So I drive the truck out, drive over to the place. Again, it's another big parking lot. I'm like, man, I gotta leave all this stuff in the back of my truck. And now it's even worse because the marina was free to walk around because there's all these shops and places to go into. But here it's an amusement park or type adventure resort place, and so you had to pay to go in. So I had to pay to go in. I was like, man, that's my money, the last of my money. So I walked over to where they were swimming with the dolphins, and I talked to these people, and I asked them, I said, hey, they may know Hugo. I'm looking for Hugo, a marine biologist. And they're all like, no, we don't know a marine biologist named Hugo. And I'm like, oh man, I'm just feeling like, what am I gonna do? Because time's getting lower, my cash situation is getting thinner, and time is just getting later in the day. And I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? They said they didn't know. So I decided to get back in the truck, go out there to make sure no one stole my stuff, go back to the marina, because that's where I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so I'll go back to the marina, sit in the parking lot, and I'm like, man, I'm just going to go back in. I never even saw where this aquarium was. I didn't know, where was this place? I didn't know where they were swimming with dolphins or anything. Or, any aquatic type arenas where you can see them, cohabitating or anything like this. I didn't know. So anyway, I walked back in the marina, and as I'm walking around, I see this replica lighthouse. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's pretty cool. You got a little lighthouse in here, making sure nobody docks their boat incorrectly or whatever. But as I'm walking around, I walk toward the lighthouse, and I'm walking into the lighthouse because there's no doors or whatever. And I walk inside it, and as I'm standing inside the lighthouse, it's 2 stories high, whatever. There's these 2 aquariums, maybe 15-gallon, small little square aquariums embedded into the wall. And I'm thinking to myself, sarcastically, like, man, here it is, the aquarium.
So that brings us to the end of part 2 of our video, creating Aqua-Trek sandals. Please tune in to part 3, and you'll see the amazing conclusion of Jim meeting Hugo and being able to get rid of his sandals. Have a good day. We thank you for watching. Bye-bye.